Kenny Clark, and this is Lombardi's Bar.
This is one of my favorite podcasts to do.
I'm just, blessed and thankful to be a part of this podcast. It's a great podcast, it's a great interview.
Maybe I know that you guys obviously being the best Packers podcast that's out there.
I had Malort this weekend, so I'm not tasting anything.
Oh, good.
He did.
God.
He did. That was fantastic.
Because they said, "Did you ever try Malort?" And I said, "No." And then they said, "Do you want to take a shot of Malort?" I said, "No," but I did.
Wait, who said
It's called
Peer pressure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I tried to get in a high honors English class once, and they called my parents and were like, "Hey, just tell him he can't do it."
It shows. It really shows. I hate you guys so much.
I'm going to throw these two guys into the screen so that if I die, they can carry on the legacy of crap that is this show.
Hello again, Green Bay Packer fans. Welcome into another week of Lombardi's Bar. I'm your bartender, Dan Connick. Thank you so much for joining us. If you have not done so already, I want to take a second right now to go on to YouTube, subscribe to the Game On Wisconsin YouTube channel so you get notified every time that we go live here at Lombardi's Bar. You can follow us on Twitter at Lombardi's Bar, at Game On WI on the Twitters, everywhere there, as long as it's still up. And speaking of things that are not dead yet, your Green Bay Packers are still very much alive for the 2022-2023 NFL playoffs. We've got a lot to talk about with that, the Christmas Day game against the Dolphins, obviously, and, of course, the reason that probably every single person has decided to tune in today, one Mr. Kenny Clark, friend of the show, has decided to drop by and talk to us ahead of two huge division games coming up to round out the season. But before we get to Kenny, two people who are probably just as important to the Packers community. One is probably Jimmy Christensen. Jimmy, how are you doing, sir?
I won't go along with that. I am definitely not. No, I am maybe like 1/100th of importance compared to Mr. December.
You're talking about like one 1/100th.
1/100th. Yes.
Like okay, 1% of
Correct.
a percentage.
Correct.
Okay, Todd, how important are you compared?
Not
Clark?
very, but I didn't know this was like going to be a math test or anything, so I don't have a decimal, but it's also a very, very small amount.
We'll need to work on a conversion chart of like one Kenny Clark equals 27,000 Jimmy Christensens, which
it would
equals...
probably take that many of me to pull a bus. I can tell you that.
Do you think Kenny can pull a bus?
He did pull a bus in his training video. He pulled a bus.
Oh, okay. Well,
man.
Hey,
Step
well,
it up, dude.
you know what?
You're not involved in the interview.
I'm
anymore.
using that as a segue to bring in friend of the show and Packers defensive tackle Kenny Clark here. Kenny, welcome into Lombardi's Bar again, sir. How are you doing? Have you pulled any buses recently?
What's going on, guys? I haven't pulled no buses recently. Nah.
That was a one and done thing.
Yeah, that was a one and done thing.
Same. I just did it to make sure I could do it. And like once you pull a bus once, like what's the point doing it again, right?
You ain't gotta do it again.
Yep.
You got to top it now. You got to start see what else you can pull. 2 buses, one each hand.
Oh nah.
All right, I need to ask you a Christmas question, parent to parent. Is there part of you that dreads Christmas a little bit because of the high amount of gifts your child is going to get and you have to find a place for?
Yeah. Yes. One thing I do dread, like I just got done doing it just now. I had to put up like 3 of her toys, and I mean not put them up, put them together, and man, it took me about 2 hours. She just looked at it and walked away. So yeah.
There has to be someone you can hire to do that. Just put an ad. I guarantee a fan would do that for free.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, let me put her stuff together. She keep looking at it, touching it and stuff. I put it up for her. And I'm thinking she about to play with it and spend some time with the toys and all that kind of stuff. She looked at it, just touched it and played around, like drew on a little chalkboard a little bit and just walked off. I'm like, all right. That took me like an hour and a half to do, but all right.
Straight to Goodwill. You're taking it to Goodwill tomorrow, aren't you?
Yeah.
We had Christmas with my kid it was his first Christmas, and the grandparents were so busy buying him all this stuff, and all he wanted to do was play with the freaking box that everything came in. He wanted to play with the trash. Kids are like cats, man. They're like cats.
Man.
They play with everything you buy them.
I feel you.
Sticking to the holiday spirit here, Kenny. We know we love your foundation, and you do a bunch of stuff for families around the holidays. What are some of the things you like to do with those families and your organization around this time of the year?
Yeah, so I hold like I hold a toy drive every year in my hometown of San Bernardino. This time I was able to go down there because we had the bye week, so I was able to go down there and actually spend time with the families and actually get the families gifts in person. And it was just cool just to see, how many lives my family and myself just touched. And it just always bring me back to why I'm so grateful, for the position that I'm in. And it just always bring me back to why I love to give back and why I love to just give to the community, because just it's a lot of people out there that's struggling, and I love just taking that extra step forward to help those people and to show them show face and make sure they're not in that battle alone.
Very cool. Always cool.
Yeah, that's incredible. And speaking of the bye, you guys have definitely been on a roll since just before the bye. Having the Bears before the bye had to be like a nice little warm up into the bye week there for you. But you guys have definitely turned it around over the last month. Was there like a specific moment or a series of events that kind of happened that really just made things kind of click for you guys to get things going in the right direction?
No, I wouldn't put my finger on a specific moment. I just think guys, like, we all just playing better, and we just finding our identity as a team, and finding a way like to, I think our defense is doing a lot better job at getting turnovers. Offense has been doing a really good job. So now, our special team's been balling, and they've been putting us on good field position. Whether it's on the offensive side or the defense side, they've been putting us in good field position, and we're just doing a better job at just playing together, at the end of the day, it's just guys who just playing better. I would say we just cutting it loose, and it's just good to see.
Yeah, how has the messaging changed over the last month?
When you're losing, you always want to, everybody, try to have a pep talk, and everybody try, we try to get back to what we do, and that's winning football games. But I would just say, coach just been doing a great job of just keeping the team together, and us as leaders has just been doing a great job of just just staying week to week. We all know it's a week to week league, and anything can happen, and we never lost confidence in the guys that we have in our locker room. We got a lot of great players, and a lot of great players that's done great things in this league, and we got to just keep being consistent, week in and week out, and just playing our style of football, and us doing that going into December. Going to the end of December, into January. That's where you want to be. We right where we want to be. We playing good football. We playing together. Guys are flying around, and that's what you want.
So on on ESPN and those big sports media ones, they keep mentioning like Packers are a little bit more dangerous because they're playing with house money. Like there's not as much pressure because at this point you guys have to win these next two games for the hope of the playoffs. Is that true at all? Like the sense of being a little bit more relaxed because in their words, you're playing with house money, or is there a little bit more pressure because you have to win these games, or is it just business as usual?
Honestly, I think it's just business as usual. We definitely. I mean, we want to win these games and get to the playoffs. But I mean, I was telling guys, you know, during the Miami game, like we played in big games. Like it's no pressure. It's no none of that stuff. Like we didn't been to NFC championships. We didn't did it all. Like you know what I'm saying. So like what is this? Like, you know what I'm saying? We can get through that. So, like I said, we got to just keep doing what we're doing and just being consistent.
Makes sense. This is why you're the NFL player and I'm not, Kenny. That and physical gifts.
Kenny, real quick, you kind of mentioned, you know, about the special teams putting the team overall in like better field positions, better situations. I think it was Bart Scott mentioned once that when he was a defensive player, he actually really loved getting put into bad situations as a defense because he was like, you know, this is when I get to just go out and be a madman, kind of prove something. Is there a situation during a game that you just absolutely relish? Is it when the offense is backed up against their own goal line? Do you like when you're coming off a turnover and you get to come out and be the team, the side that saves the game? Is there a situation on the field that you just absolutely love playing in?
I think I mean anytime the last drive, the one we just had, anytime you got that, you know, that type of situation, you know, I think that really gets you up, you know, knowing that you know, it's all on your shoulders, you know what I'm saying, the team trying to score. You know, those games where, you know, we played the Bucks and it comes down to that last moment. I think, you know, all those times, you know, you relish those moments because you just feel like, you know, everything is on your shoulders and, you know, it's all on us. You know what I'm saying, as far as, you know, defensively or if the offense is in that situation offensively, it's all on that side of the ball to you know, bring the game home. So I definitely think like those last 2-minute drills or wherever it may be to close out a game, that situation, you know, those situations that you know I love to be in.
That's awesome.
Yeah. You know, in the past, Kenny, you've when we've talked to you, you've mentioned about kind of being a leader on the defense as a veteran, especially on the defensive line. And there's been a lot of younger players coming into that role. And we asked our Twitter followers for questions for you. And I think 75% of them were about ask Kenny his opinion on Devontae Wyatt. And so I want to ask you, with him starting to get a little bit more playing time now, especially with, unfortunately, Lowry headed to IR, we're seeing more flashes of him. What has been your message for him the first part of this season and now coming into these last games when this team is going to be relying on him a lot more?
Man, I mean, I've been on DY, you know, all year. And, you know, I look back at my rookie year and what, you know, I wish, you know, guys told me or what guys, I mean, actually, you know, what guys were telling me, you know, guys like Mike D and Clay and all those guys. And I look back on mine and I try to help him out as much as I can. You know, when he first got here, you see all the potential that he got. You know, see how fast he is, how twitchy he is. You know, his get off is amazing when he goes. He can flip his hips. He has great effort to the ball, all that kind of stuff. And you know, and as vets, you know, I know the coaches and all that kind of stuff. You want to see, you know, consistency. You know, with all that kind of stuff. And he's been doing it, man. He's been balling. You know, every time he gets in the game, especially since probably that Eagles game or probably a little bit before that. Every time he's got in the game, he's showing flashes of you know what he can do. And you know, you love to see it. You love to see it. And I mean, the biggest thing I've been preaching to him is, you know, make sure he's staying prepared. Make sure he's staying, and just staying ready because, by the end, I told him by the end of the season, you're going to be playing a lot more than you think you're going to be playing. And, not that, like with the injuries and stuff with Dean and everything, not just because of that, but just because, you see him at practice, you see him in the games, and you can only, as a coach, like, and just watching him, like you got to put him on the field more, like just seeing what he's doing. So that's the main thing I've been telling him. Just make sure you stay ready, because
Stay ready.
Stay ready.
We'll see if we get Kenny back here real quick.
I am excited to see Devontae Wyatt play, though. I think that's
Very much
obviously
so.
These next two games are really important, but just seeing him, because like you said, every time he's on the field, it's like a splash play, something happens. So I'm excited to see what he can do for sure. But we'll see.
did y'all get me? My bad. Yeah.
Oh, you're good. We can
got
hear
you
you.
back. We can hear you.
But yeah, I just told him to take care. Just make sure he stay ready, and just take advantage of the opportunity that he's gonna get, because he's doing he was doing a lot of he's doing a lot of great stuff, and you'll only be dumb not to throw him in the game more, to see more what he can do. And and every time he gets out on the field, whether it's him playing a run, like, he did a great job in the game against a really good offensive tackle. Coming off, he played a double team, came off the block, forced a holding call. When he pass rushes, like, he's getting pressure. He's relentless. His effort is relentless. He's getting out the stack. All those great traits you want to see in a defensive lineman, he has that, and you always want to see that. So, I love what he bringing to our team. I love what he bringing to our defensive line, and he only gonna get better. So I'm excited about his progression for sure.
Yeah, how has he kind of dealt with it coming up? Obviously being a highly touted guy out of Georgia, and then it sounds like he's doing the right things at practice, and then it's taken a while for the snaps to really start showing up for him. How's he dealt with that? I know you're telling him to stay ready, but I think mentally, that starts to weigh on people after a while. Has he been dealing with that pretty solid?
Man, honestly, I feel like he's been handling all this stuff like so well. Like, I never really seen like DY like frustrated or mad about stuff. Like, only time I really see him mad is when he mad at himself about something that he didn't do right, or something that he didn't get, or if his technique was wrong. He stays like more mad at himself than any kind of situation that he in, or all that kind of stuff. He trusts the process. He trusts the coaches, and he understands. Like, what I'm saying, and I think just that's why you got to have guys like me and Jay Reed and Dean and all those guys to just constantly talk to him and let him know that his time is coming, and just be ready. And now officially, like, he's gonna get a lot more snaps. He did a great job in the Miami game. Like I said earlier, the Eagles game, he had a lot of splash plays. The Bears game, he made a huge like 3rd and 2 stop before Dean had got that blocked that field goal. He made a huge 3rd and 2 stop on the trap play. That's a hard play to stop. You know what I'm saying? And he's seen it. He read it. Made a great play on the ball. Got a tackle, and then Dean blocks the field goal, and that was a huge play in that game. So it's little stuff like that, man. That it might not like show up, or it might not show up on stat sheet, or guys might not like see it all the time, but he's been improving every single week, and he definitely deserves he deserves like the credit that he's getting and the praise that he's getting, and he deserves to get the snaps that he's gonna get.
It's awesome.
So one thing I was always wondering, like, we hear a lot about quarterbacks, especially the great ones like Rodgers, Brady, really being heavily involved in the offensive game plan, kind of deciding which plays are gonna be running, having like a heavy input. And I always wondered, What's that like on the defensive side of the ball? Like, are you, as one of the veterans and leaders of that team, and Devondre, are you guys like heavily involved in the game planning, or is on the defensive side it's a little bit different?
I mean, I wouldn't say we like heavily involved in the game planning, but we definitely tell the coaches like, you know, what we like and what we don't like, and like some of the positions that we in, and what would we like to do on certain downs and distances, you know, what we like to do in pass rush situations and who we think we can take advantage of. So it's always an open line of communication with our coaches, and you know, they encourage that. So yeah, we definitely talk to them about, you know, we give our input on all that type of stuff, but you know, at the end of the day, they make the game plan and they do what they do. But yeah, we definitely, you know what I'm saying, go up and talk to them, and give our 2 cents in the game plan, and you know, they figure it out that way.
Beautiful. And then before Dan wraps us up with the final question, I do have to ask you, this last game, Alan Lazard took out 3 defensive players for the Dolphins. And I was just wondering, if a wide receiver ever did that to you, are you just gonna like instantly retire, or what's the plan there?
Man, I mean, Allen, man, he's a dog though, man. He's a dog out there, and like I didn't see him do that to a couple people, you know, whether it's crack blocks, you know, blocking defensive linemen, you know, being the ZOT and being able to you know, knock out a linebacker and open up rushing lanes for Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon. Like I didn't see him do it. So, you know, he physical, and you know, he plays that way all the time. And he does it. I mean, he does a great job. You know what I'm saying? So, but I couldn't let a receiver block me. I can't do that.
You think Lazard gets to 4 by the end of the season?
Say it again.
You think Lazard gets to 4 down people in one play by the end of the season?
Oh yeah, he might. Yeah, he got a good chance. He got a good chance. Like he knocking people on their ass now. So
how many times do you think he's made the wide receiver room watch that specific play this week?
Man, we watched it all as a team. We watched it all. Nah, we love that, man. We love seeing, like, you know, all that stuff. Like all that stuff goes, you know, unnoticed. You know what I'm saying? And you know, I think just the team in general. Like we always try to praise, you know that kind of stuff. You know, and because that's hard to do. You know what I'm saying? A lot of receivers don't want to block. A lot of receivers don't want to get involved in the run game and get their hands dirty. And when you got a guy that can catch the ball on critical downs, third downs, make huge plays, run after the catch, and then you got a guy that can come in and block at the same time, like, you know, it just, you know, the defense isn't gonna know, you know, what's going on. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I got a lot of respect for Allen and what he brings to our team, and the type of, just like, not just the team, just the type of player he is, because a lot of receivers don't really want to, you know, get their hands dirty, and he don't really care. He hitting people, catching the ball, mauling people, pancaking them like offensive linemen, and still making plays. So, you know, he a great player.
Do you get tempted to maybe just put Mercedes Lewis jersey on for like a play, just so you can get one of those blocks too? Add that to your stat sheet.
Man, big dog doing his thing. Big dog.
I know. I'm saying. I was trying to think. I was gonna say Lazard, but I think you'll get caught on that one. But maybe if you switch with like Mercedes, that one you could get away with it.
Yeah, probably. I could probably put on a Mercedes jersey or something.
Can you run a wheel route like him though?
Hey,
that's the question.
Man, Sadie's got up there too. He was running 17 miles per hour. For real.
That's wild.
Yeah, he was moving. He was moving when he caught that. Like Sadie's, man, like Sadie's too. Like, man, he just brings so much to our team, not only as a leader, but just, you know, the way he blocks, the way he, like, how physical he is like, you don't see a lot, like, players like that. You don't, especially on the offensive side of the ball. You don't see that. So anytime, you know, you got those type of players, like, you know, you respect those guys, because, you know, a lot of people just nowadays just don't want to do that. They don't want to, you know, go in there and be physical. block, be an inline tight end and block, big old defensive ends and D tackles and all that kind of stuff, sifting back. They don't want to do that no more. So, like, to see Sadie's, like, him being able to make, again, critical, catches, and then come out and be physical and blocking defensive linemen, being the point of attack on a lot of runs, like, it's just there's a lot of respect there. Like, the dude is a beast.
Kenny, we always appreciate you taking the time to stop by, and we love helping you and your charity out because you do so much for us. And at the beginning of the season, we told you that we were doing the Sackathon, that we had. I think we have about 8 or 10 people signed up, to donate for every sack on the season. Sitting at 3 so far in the season, so we've got a good chunk of money coming your way for the charity. We got Kirk Cousins this weekend, though. How excited are you to sack Kirk Cousins at Lambeau Field this weekend?
Man, I'm excited. I got to get to him, and hopefully I can do that.
Let's get one of those games where you get a random drug test after. I want that many sacks.
That's what we need.
Yeah, I love that. I'll happily take that test.
Kenny Clark from the Green Bay Packers, thank you so much again for joining us, Kenny. I hope you have a great holiday, a great New Year, and good luck the last 2 weeks.
All right, guys, happy New Year.
Thanks,
Kenny. Appreciate it.
For sure.
Should mention the last 2 weeks of the regular season, because we all know where this is headed, right?
Sam's going to ruin all of our hope.
She's going to come in and crush it. She's going to crush our dreams in the palm of her hand. Sammy.
Hi, guys.
Welcome in.
Look at that.
Hello.
How is everybody?
Well, we're doing great right now because our dreams are sitting here like a beautiful, delicate origami flower in your hands, and you have not crushed them.
When I was putting my hat on, I was like, should I pick the Packers to win? Should I not pick them to win? Don't worry, I'm not going to crush your dreams.
Thank you.
Yet.
So you're guaranteeing a Packer victory.
Hold on.
We'll get there.
I didn't make any guarantees. I feel good about it, though. I do.
She's going to throw a monkey wrench in and say, "Well, tie," and then we'll have to figure it all out from there.
I've been calling ties. We make bets on Last Call Lambeau every week, and I've been calling ties.
Oh, sick plug.
I've been really good at those. Check us out, guys.
When does that come out, and how can people listen to it?
We air every Friday on Game On Wisconsin, on all those streaming channels.
Terrific.
Comes out at like 6 a.m. for any of those people who commute in the morning.
Oh.
I don't. I work from home.
That's great.
Mhm.
It is pretty great. All right, guys. Do you want to jump into a little buy around, pay the tab here? That was talk to our good friend Kenny. All right. Well, Jimmy, I'll start with you. Who would you like to buy around for this week?
Yeah, I'm buying around for Ron Rivera, head coach of the Commanders. We need them to lose this week, and you do like a super helpful favor and decide to start Carson Wentz. So hopefully we get the usual Carson Wentz with about 5 interceptions. 2 of those are pick sixes, and that way Deshaun could also just have an absolute terrible game, and Browns could still win. It's a win-win situation there.
Yeah, I've busted out my Cleveland Browns.
You've always been a big Cleveland Browns fan.
Cup.
Yeah.
Mostly since the trade is really when you came around to
Did you get your Watson jersey for Christmas you asked for?
No, I didn't.
Dan only likes quarterbacks that wear number 4. I saw you just ordered that new Brett Favre one too. You're gonna wear that on. You gonna wear that on January 6th this year? Like just
I was just about to ask.
Like a big anniversary party you guys are planning?
Yeah, are you excited? That's only like a little bit more than a week away.
Yeah. Get pumped if you're not.
See, even I'm so excited for this.
I love Kelsey so much.
We
Dan, you're about to have another kid. She keeps talking to me like that in the comments. You're gonna have another kid.
We talked about this the other day, and she's like, I always want to make jokes in the comments, but I'm afraid I'm going to go too far. And I'm like, have you watched the show? There is no too far.
Hey, people said we were on our best behavior with Kenny, so we should be really proud of ourselves. You guys try to delete my drug testing question. I slipped it in anyways. Just change it up a little bit.
It was much better than how you had written it initially. So, yeah. By the way, happy early birthday, Dan. I believe that's coming up in a couple of days, correct?
It is coming
Is
up.
your birthday January 6th?
No, that's just his favorite holiday.
No, it's the 30th. But he just kind of, it's one big party to him. It's like a whole week of just getting weird with it.
All right, Dan, who are you buying around for?
I think I literally just heard my wife cackle in the other room. I can't tell if that was her or the baby. Did you ask me who I'm buying around for?
Yeah, I was trying to get back on track a little bit.
I am buying around for Green Bay Packer fans attending this week's game against Minnesota. And I am only buying you around because I want you to get good and liquored up, baby, because I want Lambeau Field to be the most inhospitable environment ever seen in the history of the National Football League. I want every Packer fan there to be so pissant drunk that they don't remember the game, and the drunk tanks of Green Bay are filled with people that have just kicked the shit out of any Minnesota Vikings fans that have dared to go into Lambeau this week, because this is the week. If Green Bay fans are ever going to show up and prove that Lambeau Field is the frozen tundra, and you come in here and this is where teams hate to play during January. This is the fucking week to prove that. And so if you don't do it this week, I will forever lose all faith in the Lambeau Field home field advantage mystique. So get good and liquored up, Packer fans.
For the record, it is possible to be rowdy at Lambeau without being drunk. I've done it successfully several times. But I'm telling you this, if I end up going to the game, Dan, I'm falling off the wagon. I'm getting blackout drunk, and it's on you. This is your fault. This is your fault.
You've been sober long enough. It's not. I wouldn't call it falling off the wagon now.
Almost 5 years. I guess that's long enough, according to Dan.
Yeah.
I'm with Dan on this one.
Go for it. Right juice out there.
Jimmy, you going?
Yeah.
You gonna piss away your sobriety bet?
Are you sitting next to me?
You think your dad and I don't talk? I don't have a dad to talk to, so I got to talk to yours.
All right. If you get Jim's number and he said he's going to text you, then I will be as sober as a judge.
Wait, are you a junior, Jimmy?
Yeah.
Are you technically a junior?
Yeah, that's big Jim and little Jim.
3 years. 3 years we've been doing this show. This is the first time I've heard that. I learned something new about my.
It's not really something I say when I meet people. Like, hey, my name's Jimmy. By the way, I'm a junior.
You're Jimmy Jr.
Yeah. Yeah.
Little Jimmy Jr.
Little Jimmy Jr.
No, that's something else.
Fuck. Sammy, who would you like to buy around for?
I would like to buy around for Jair Alexander for his post-game interview. It was wonderful. And he made that noise that he makes when he talks about his interceptions that I am not going to recreate.
Oh, I was just about to ask.
But I kind of want to.
You just give us a sample.
Yeah,
I feel like I'm not going to do it right.
No, okay. You'll get it. You'll get it for
sure. He's like, huh? Like that.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
And I feel like he probably makes that noise on the field when he catches the ball. Don't stop.
Matt, clip that for us.
You fucking did that on purpose.
I made a sound like that last week on Last Call Lambeau that he clipped. But yeah,
terrific.
Can we add that to the intro just for no other reason to the show?
That's actually the only thing on the intro.
This is Kenny Clark. Welcome to Lombardi's Bar. And then just Sam making that noise
for 30 seconds.
Yeah, we can't have too short of an intro.
No,
he messed up.
Oh boy. Okay. Todd.
I'm gonna go Alan Lazard on this one, specifically for the block. I feel like he's forgotten how to catch this year. He was always a guy never worried about his hands in the past, and for some reason this year it feels like he's just dropping most of what comes his way. So it's great to see him in the blocking game, and the fact that he took all three guys down and then counted them without the count, that's just a really nice block. But the fact that he stood over them and counted, fantastic.
That was beautiful.
It's a ball.
I'm telling you, they needed to retire after that.
Yeah.
It's all downhill from there, guys. You might as well just get out.
Is Alan, who's the better trash talker? Alan Lazard or Jair Alexander? Because there have been some really good like Alan Lazard moments. Remember the flag point on the Eagles game? What was that? 2 years?
Oh, that
2
was
years
one
ago,
of my
I think.
favorite things.
He's got some really. Alan Lazard has some really good trash talk moments.
I think he has like better moments like that, but I think Jair's just better at it because he does it 24/7. Like the Bills game, he did it with Stephon Diggs before the game even started.
Yeah,
So,
fair.
Yeah, I give it to him.
Oh, that's everyone's new ringtone.
Don't put that on me. I'm very
Every time.
Love you. Not gonna listen to that every day.
I honestly don't know what my ringtone is. My shit never comes off silent.
Yeah.
Same. I want Elon Musk, if you're listening, save Twitter by every time you tweet. It's like,
can you just talk to him about this in a couple, like next week when you guys have your little January 6th get together? Stop wasting airtime.
Every time the Lombardi's Bar account tweets, I want it to make a noise like when you send an AOL instant message and it's just Sammy's noise. Every time the account tweets it.
All right, let's start making people pay the tab.
All right, Jimmy, go ahead and kick us out then.
Oh, all right. Good thing my thing's up. I'm going with
your thing's up.
Oh yeah, my bad. Good thing my agenda's up. Perverts. What I meant was I'm going with the offense because we had an incredible return down to like within the 10-yard line, and we get 3 points out of that. And then like out of the interceptions as well, we not scoring touchdowns. Like at some point we need to capitalize on these, especially going against the Vikings, who have a much more explosive offense than the Dolphins at times, but Justin Jefferson's a better receiver. Like we need to, if we're able to force interceptions or have great special teams, like we need actual points to come off it, not just a field goal.
Yeah, I think.
Great.
I mean,
yeah, thanks guys. That was really great feedback on that one.
Terrific thoughts.
The 5-second pause and that was great.
Nailed it.
I mean, just in general, like if you're gonna try to if you make it into the playoffs and you start playing against teams like San Francisco or you see Philly or Minnesota again, yeah, you can't waste possessions like that.
Correct.
Todd, why don't you go next?
I switched mine during our interview with Kenny.
I noticed that.
To Joe Barry, simply because I feel like we've all been under the assumption.
No, wait. Address him as how you have him written in the show notes.
Joey B.
Okay.
I feel like we've all been under the assumption that Devontae Wyatt hasn't been getting snaps because he hasn't been showing up and playing well in practice. And Kenny just told us he's doing all of the right things in practice, and he's got a good head on his shoulders, and he's handling everything as he should, and he's showing up day in and day out and balling out at practice. Why the fuck has he not been playing more? Like at this point, it's criminal that Dean Lowry has been playing over Devontae Wyatt if Devontae Wyatt has actually been doing his job at practice, because Dean Lowry has shown nothing on game film other than he's really good at standing up and losing all leverage immediately and letting teams dictate where they're going to run the ball because they're going to run it right at him when he's on the field.
Well,
I don't understand.
Wish, because Dean Lowry's on IR now.
He was my initial buy around for putting himself in a situation to end up on IR, but I decided to be nice. But I absolutely mind blowing that if Devontae Wyatt's been showing what you should in practice, why has he not been getting snaps?
Do you think maybe Kenny was just pumping him up a little bit more than
Kenny would never do that.
Kenny also pumps up Dean Lowry?
That's a weird thing, though. I don't know. Shut up, Jimmy.
But I mean, think about the other thing too is Sean Nixon. We suffered through how many weeks of Amari Rodgers returning punts and kicks, and now we see Nixon exploding onto the scene, and it's like, how many other players are not seeing field time because of, I don't know, weird player evaluations during practice or other coaching decisions? Like, it's making me start to question, like, who are the best 52 players that they're putting out there each week, you know? Anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, that's a good point.
A real head scratcher.
Appreciated the assist on that one too,
real
guys.
head scratcher.
Thank you.
Well, Todd started talking, so I try to keep mine short. But
Okay.
I was going to say, I caught myself because I realized I was wrong, obviously.
As per usual.
Yeah. I was going to say, like, Amari Rodgers has the 3rd round draft pick, the title next to his name. But I was like, that doesn't apply because Devontae Wyatt has a 1st round draft pick next to his name, and Dean Lowry's playing over him. So I really don't know. I think
where are you going with this?
You said what's going on. I was saying why I wasn't talking. I was just making a point. I don't know. God, I can't stand you, dude.
Sammy, who would you like to pay the tab?
The Miami Dolphins for missing yet another to a concussion.
Motherfucker.
Oh, did I take yours? I'm so sorry.
Right. I mean, it is
I'm sorry.
capitalized and everything.
He doesn't have the agenda.
I don't read the agenda.
I like your style.
You give me shit for that, Todd.
I'm sorry.
She shouldn't have to, Jimmy.
You can just expound on what I'm saying. They just continue to ignore all signs of brain injury with this man. If someone on Twitter was able to catch it, who posted that video where the point that he got concussed, the Miami Dolphins should have caught it. So yeah, shame on them. Tua's got a lot to think about for his future because of them.
I mean, like, he was already.
Yeah.
He already got 2. Like, what's the 3rd gonna do?
Kill him?
Probably nothing. No.
Probably.
It's like Wes Welker. Like,
yeah, he could play right now too.
Yeah.
The softest of brains. Dan.
Yeah.
Pay the tab.
I'll transition to mine. I'll pick a different one than the Miami Dolphins, but fuck them for what they're doing to Tua. Corey brings up one that should not be forgotten, and I'll take this one from him. What the fuck was that? Awful fake punt. I mean, not only was the execution of it so bad, but you can clearly see the Dolphins are in like a punt safe formation. It's not like you came out and you saw something that was like, oh, if they come out looking like this, we're gonna run this fake punt. No, they were clearly ready for it. And I don't buy the garbage that they didn't have a backup plan. You know what the backup plan for a fake punt is? Punt the fucking ball. There's a guy back there whose only job is to do that. So instead of hiking the ball to the up man, just do what you normally do.
Yeah.
And kick the ball.
Even if there's not an audible call for that, it's really easy for the up back to just shout to everybody, hey, we're just going to punt it. We're not faking it. We're just going to punt it. And then you go from there. Like, that can be the audible call. You're fine.
Like, you could just say, like, fuck it. Like, it's off, guys. It's off. Yep. It's off. And no one has to – everyone – that's less embarrassing than what happened with that.
Yeah, could be a hand signal issue.
That's the key. That's the key right there.
I hope
All
they
right.
run it again this week. Honestly, no one's gonna expect it. Not gonna run that shit twice in a row,
No team would ever be dumb enough to do that.
and that's why it's perfect, Sam. Because that's what
they'd
people
be
think.
expecting. Exactly. All right, gang. So Vikings this week, 2 home games to wrap up the season. Sammy, you said you're feeling optimistic.
Okay, that's because the first game was a shit show.
Okay.
And I don't think they're going to let that happen again. They finally found
how
their
much
rhythm.
worse could it get?
Okay.
Basically.
Well, Justin Jefferson is 209 yards away from breaking the receiving record. I don't think the Vikings are going to show the Packers any mercy. I don't think anyone's being benched this week, regardless of where we're at with the division. So I think Justin Jefferson might break the record versus the Packers. He's going to have a crazy ass game. But no, I think it's, what'd you say?
I said just like week 1.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I don't think it's going to be an ass beating. I want to say the Packers win. The Vikings are the 1-score team this year. So I think it'll be like a 1-score game. And I'm hoping that the Packers come out on the good side of it. Yeah, the Packers are banged up as always. The Vikings are frustratingly healthy. It should be a really annoying game to watch. A great game to open the year with.
Let's hope so. I can't handle losing to them twice in a year, especially
because they just don't stop. They don't stop.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're all the biggest fans now, but when they're not good or when they lose, then there's like, I'm just a fan of the players. I'm not really a fan of the team anyway, so it's not that big a deal. Like, I don't even care.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they are the worst fan base in the division, right? Like, there's even Bears fans. I can tolerate Bears fans more than I can Vikings fans.
Yeah,
really at any point.
They at least understand their position.
Yeah, but even when they're bad or when they're good, the Bears fans that I see and I follow, I hear the same amount of talk from them both times. The talk is obviously different.
No, when you say follow, I assume you're talking about Twitter. Have they been good since Twitter has been a thing?
I mean, the double doink maybe almost broke Twitter.
They weren't good that year. They
won the division.
Better than
in 2018?
2018.
Okay. They won it by default because Rodgers was out. Let's be real. Or was that the year McCarthy got fired?
That was the broken leg McCarthy year.
Yeah.
So good job. That doesn't make it good. That made us bad. They weren't good. I mean, let's be real. That's the only reason, like, there hasn't really been a season where the Packers were good and somebody else won the division. The division has been won because the Packers had a bad year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, could you say that? I'm trying to think back to when was that the Packers, was that the star retirement ceremony? Which one was that where they had a chance to win the division against the Vikings at home and they lost? It was recently. 2016? 2017?
The Vikings won the division last.
Couldn't tell you.
Yeah.
It's been a few years.
Okay.
If we didn't win, I flushed it down the toilet, Dan. Season never happened.
The last time a good Packers team didn't win the division was when they ended up winning the Super Bowl.
That's fair.
That's a good point.
I think that's a fair point to make. Okay. All right. 2015, according to Mastodon. All right. Do we want to go and do a little bar bets here, guys, about this week's game?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Let's
wrap this shit up.
All right. So speaking of the Packer killer, Justin Jefferson, over under 125 yards this week for Justin Jefferson, and I'll start with you, Sammy.
Over 5 backed yards.
Are you more confident in the Packers or more confident in this bet?
The bet. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's gonna be what we saw with Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. Just horror.
So what you're saying is the key to the game is to concuss Kirk Cousins early.
Yeah.
But still let him stay in the game.
Let him stay in the game.
That should have honestly been the game plan from the jump. That shouldn't be a new thing.
Jimmy.
5 Bakhtiari's over. Even if you would have done like the number of Tyreek Hill for last week, 175, I would have still been very confident to say over.
Okay.
I just feel like he's going to fucking torch us again. Joe Barry makes 0 adjustments ever. So
you don't think the elements of it's January 1st outdoors in Green Bay has anything to do with it's going to be a more run heavy offense or anything?
Not when you have Justin Jefferson. We saw last week Jalen Waddle caught like a 5-yard pass with 4 Green Bay Packers around him. Took it for a touchdown. So
that's fair.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be deep passes. Just get the ball to him and he can score anytime.
Okay. Todd, I assume you'll be joining everybody there.
Adrian Amos took such a good route to Jalen Waddle on that one.
He was banana peeling the other way.
Yeah. I'm going to go 5 Bakhtiari's under. I think he's going to have a decent game. I don't think he's going to hit 125, though. That's a lot of friggin' yards.
What's he trying to do here? What's the angle here, Todd?
I just don't think he's going to get 125.
Does anyone know off the top of their head what he got?
183.
183
in the first game.
Yeah.
And we're coming back with the same game plan.
No.
We have to find a way to get Aaron Jones the ball.
No, listen, Devontae Wyatt's in the game now. That's not going to happen.
And he's going to stop Justin Jefferson.
If he has to, there's nothing this man can't do. I've seen him run guys down.
What's yours?
5 Bakhtiari's over. Yeah, Justin Jefferson gets this.
You guys are so dumb.
An open-ended question here. Aaron Jones, a little bit banged up. A.J. Dillon also dealing with a little bit the last couple of weeks. Patrick Taylor's come into the mix. Who's going to be the leading rusher for the Green Bay Packers this week? Todd, I'll start with you this time.
I'm going to go 5 Bakhtiari's A.J. Dillon. I feel like just a cold game, he's going to get a bunch of touches, just wear that defense down.
All right, Jimmy?
I'm going to go Aaron Jones. 3 Bakhtiari's. I could see A.J. Dillon getting more carries just because of what Todd said, beating the defense down. But I think Aaron Jones will have those splash plays. So at the end, he'll end up with more yards.
And Sammy?
A.J. Dillon, 4 Bakhtiari's. I think Aaron Jones is going to end up with more total yards, but I think it's going to be receiving yards.
Okay.
Okay, girl.
I'll go 3 Bakhtiari's, and I believe in A.J. Dillon, the quad father himself. Soon to be proud father of a boy recently we saw. So congratulations to A.J. Dillon. All right, and our last one here, because we had Kenny on with us this week, I threw a little Kenny Clark question on here. Kenny Clark is a half sack behind Minnesota Viking Zadarius Smith on the all-time Packers career sack list. Zadarius is at 26. Kenny is at 25.5. Will Kenny Clark move ahead of Z this week against the Vikings? Jimmy, I'll start with you.
I'm 100% biased because he was just on today. Yes. 5 Bakhtiari's.
Sammy?
Yes. 5 Bakhtiari's.
Todd?
5 Bakhtiari's, yes.
He wanted to say
that. I had to make sure I wasn't just being emotional about it, but Kenny gets up for games like this. I mean, you heard him talking about it. They've been in big games before. It's not anything new to him, and we know that he likes sacking Kirk Cousins more than any other quarterback in the league.
I think it's going to be difficult for him because I think that we've seen Preston and Enigbare really coming into their own with the sacks and everything like that. There's a lot of other players that have been getting pressure on the quarterbacks recently. But I just have a feeling that there is a game-sealing sack from Kenny Clark coming up this week. So 5 Bakhtiaris, yes, he moves ahead of Z on that list and rights all the wrongs from everything that's happened so far this year. Sammy, thank you so much again for joining us this week. You're always a pleasure to have on. Do you want to let people know that are living under a rock where they can find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Samwich. That's spelled SAMMWICHH. And as I stated earlier, I am on Last Call Lambeau, which airs every Friday, with my friends Aaron and Monty, who are wonderful, wonderful people.
Perfect. We always appreciate you coming on. And again, thank you to Kenny Clark for taking the time to jump on with us here. If you missed the interview, you can rewatch the show on YouTube once we are done here. And speaking of YouTube, when you're over there, make sure you subscribe to the Game On Wisconsin YouTube channel so you get notified every time that we go live here on Lombardi's Bar. For producer Nick hanging out back home with the kids, for Kenny Clark, for Sammy, for Jimmy, for Todd, and myself, Dan Connick, your bartender, saying cheers, everybody. Go Browns. And as always, go Pack Go.